Representing the 27 to 32 foot class in the center console category, the Contender 32 ST has an overall length of 32 feet 7 inches, a beam of 9 feet 8 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 800. Built for hardcore offshore fishing, she has a draft of 20 inches, a dead rise of 24.5 degrees, a dry weight of 11,600 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 310 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts.
Okay team, here we go again. We're on a Contender 32 ST. We've got a couple things working against us. The fishing has been terrible for one, and the ocean is supposed to get nasty. How are we gonna get in the game, Rick?
Well, we picked a perfect day to be on a 32-foot Contender, I can tell you that much. We're gonna get bait, take it as it comes. We know we're gonna be comfortable. It's just gonna be a matter of finding some fish to bite.
Well, if we don't find fish today and it gets a little rough, I already know where I'm gonna take my afternoon nap.
All right, well, let's get after it, man. Now, our original plan was to go catch some bait, but we got lucky and ran into the live bait guy in Stewart Inlet, so we took advantage of that opportunity and loaded up with bait from him and headed straight off to the grounds. Okay. Hey, you know what? One of the things that I've always loved about Contenders is the ability to carry a ton of bait. You know, this one has got 3 tanks, 2 40-gallon tanks here, and an 80-gallon down in the deck. And that's awesome for carrying a bunch of baits if you're in a tournament or taking a trip to the Bahamas or whatever. You know, today what we're gonna do, we don't need all 3 of them running. We're gonna probably just use the one here, but if we needed it, we'd have it.
You could actually turn this thing into a commercial bait post. You can hold so much bait.
For sure you could. All right, man. Well, let's go fishing. Now, Contender boats are really well known for their ride. That 24.5-degree dead rise is really, really soft riding. A lot of days we don't get a chance to really see what they can do. Well, this day, as soon as we got to the jetties, I saw whitewater breaking over the rocks, and I knew we were definitely gonna put this boat to the test.
Okay, riding to the fishing grounds in the big Contender was delightfully uneventful. You've got to look out from inside of that boat to see whether or not it's rough, because you're not going to feel the boat pound if you're waiting for that. And as they typically do deliver, this big Contender put us on the fishing spot with no issues.
Now, this model was equipped to fish either outrigger style or drifting and had a beautiful pair of carbon fiber rigger poles. Now, the conditions were terrible for rigger fishing. The weeds were unbearable.
When you can't troll because of weeds, you can always strip. The Contender lay beam to perfectly with rod holders all the way down the side, so you could put out multiple baits that drifted in one spot instead of constantly plowing through the weeds.
Got our lines out, waiting for it. Bam, all of a sudden, rod went off. I got myself a nice kingfish.
Now, I'm a big fan of fishing 360 around a boat and drift style fishing. A couple of reasons why that's good is, one, you can work a fish all the way around the boat and keep your spread in the water. Another one is it frees up the helmsman to help out with the rods so you can put more baits in the water. It's a win-win.
Working this fish and him move around the boat, I mean, he was going left, right. All of a sudden, I found myself having to go all the way up to the bow, but there was no problem. I never tripped over anything. It was great having that open concept. All right, George. I'm done. I've caught all the fish for the day, and conveniently, I've got a nice lounge right here. I'm taking a break. Maybe you and Rick can maybe try to catch one today?
We got you covered, don't worry about it.
Okay, this bow seating where I laid out for my little nap, super comfortable, wide, never felt like I was gonna fall off. I enjoyed my little nap I had.
Now, Lori might have been impressed with how comfortable the sun lounge was, but the first thing I noticed was it had 2 separate insulated boxes that you could use for a fish box or for drinks, food, whatever you wanted to put in there. It's pretty cool.
Between the weeds and the chop and the bites, we were going through tackle like crazy too. We were getting tangled up. The tackle station is so roomy, you can carry every kind of weapon in there you're ever gonna need to put a fish on the box. It was easy to whip out a couple liters. But you know, fishing in the weeds and the chop got frustrating after a while. We decided it was time to head into the sandbar.
When we got to the sandbar, it was clear that this was more than just a fishing boat. I mean, luxury things such as the upholstery, a crazy banging stereo system, and a slide-out cooler on an electric track. I mean, this boat was rigged.
Let me tell you, the boat transformed from being a hardcore tournament fishing machine to a great place to relax when we got into the sandbar. We couldn't have been more comfortable for lunch.
Okay guys, we got hit with some adverse conditions today there. I mean, you know, the ocean wasn't as rough as we expected, but still pretty choppy. And the weeds, they were just unbearable. Hey, since you're the only one who caught any fish today, I mean, what's your assessment of the deal?
It was great catching fish on this boat. I was on a merry-go-round all day long. Just walk around.
Everybody's building their boats bigger. I'm gonna tell you right now, anything this Contender 32 ST can't handle, I sure don't want to be in.